must have a code that you can live by, and so become yourself, because the past is just a goodbye.
They say those who can't do, teach. While that maxim is debatable, it's true that those who can do should also teach. When education exists in a vacuum, it grows stale, and it needs an injection of reality to enliven it. Despite being somewhat shy himself, Logan Tate, ASE Master Technician at Cloverdale Automotive Tires in Cloverdale, California, stepped out of his comfort zone of motor oil and diagnostic tools to give young adults a dose of life as a modern-day technician. All right, Logan, how would you sum up the current state of the automotive repair industry in one sentence?
I would say the automotive industry is quickly changing, getting more technical as far as computer systems and adaptive cruise control, lane changing, lane keeping. I think it's quickly changing.
Yeah, absolutely. How has that impacted how, you and other techs have had to approach your jobs?
Just like it's always been in the automotive industry, everything's constantly changing, and you just got to adapt with it and learn as quickly as possible. And that means getting new equipment, staying up on the equipment updates. Yeah.
How about training? How do you guys go about with tech training?
So a lot of it's, I think we have a couple of options for training, like webinars that some of our vendors offer us that we use, and usually once every couple months we'll sit through a couple training courses that our vendors offer us in person.
Okay.
After work, which is cool.
What are some of the best parts about working in the automotive industry right now?
The best parts of working in the automotive industry right now is probably the challenge.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Adapting to the new stuff, using the aftermarket equipment to fix these things, giving customers options that they don't have to go back to the dealer.
What do you think the industry could be doing better?
Probably making more information, more procedures available to the aftermarket side of things, which seems like it's the aftermarket tools are doing a pretty good job of, but there's a lot of things that you can't do too that is factory only. That, for instance, Chrysler's new security link, Nissan's now doing it, and I've seen it on the Fords too.
Oh, okay.
So if you don't have the special equipment, you can't even pull codes on a new vehicle.
I'm sure it's got to be hard to keep up because, you finally learn something and then it changes the next day there.
Yep.
Are you the youngest technician in your shop?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
How does that feel? Like, has that ever been an issue for you, or did you have any, struggles, kind of proving yourself, or?
No, I never really felt the need to prove myself. Being young, I would just ask as many questions as possible. Yeah, I could see definitely maybe irritating some people when I ask questions, and then I'm not questioning you if you're right. I just personally want to know why we're doing it this way, and I'm just looking for an explanation. And sometimes I'm sure people, especially when I was way younger, they would get tired of answering these questions. They got a job to do too, but because of that, I learned a lot.
Okay, yeah. Well, and I think there might be, a differences in how generations learned. I think older generations were, it's this way because I say it is, and now the younger generations are like, well, tell me why that is. What the reason is for that. So how do you think the industry can better attract young technicians then?
Back to the internship programs, having schools offer that, I think is a huge thing, because some of these kids that have came and shadowed us at the shop or worked with us at the shop, they've found that that's their passion. They want to do that, and then now they're off at trade school learning about it. And I think the trade school is being offered in the high school level, saying that letting younger people know that there is other options, successful options. I think that'll be huge.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Awareness is just like the first step there. Because
when I was in school, that wasn't even, you have to go to 4-year college, you have to, and that's what the teachers are pushing, that's what the counselors are pushing. And
absolutely, yep.
So I'm glad I found this path, and I'm very grateful for it.
Yeah. And well, I think what's promising for the future is that the younger generations, I think, are starting to see, based on what's happened in like the last 20 years, is that, maybe the 4-year college option is not all that it's cracked up to be. And more seem to be starting to look at trades.
Yeah, so. 4-year option's not a bad option. It's a great option for a lot of people, but for some people, it's just not.
Yeah.
I couldn't sit behind a desk every day. I want to be out messing around with things and outside, and so that's what I can do every day.
Yeah, absolutely. So why was it so important to you to mentor these students that have come in? Because I know you said originally you were a little like, maybe I don't have time for this, but now that you've started doing it, like, why is it important for you to continue doing it?
I think the reason I started to do it was just because I was fortunate enough to be around so many good technicians and how they helped me learn, and I was grateful for that, so I decided that I could do that, and actually it made me better at my job, because you do have somebody asking you questions all the time that you might not know the answer to, so I don't, why are you doing it this way? Why are we doing this? Why are we? And then if you don't have the question, you gotta know the answer, or at least go find the answer. And so I think it's definitely made me better at my job.
Okay. Oh, excellent. Yeah, for sure. Now, going back to how we were talking about everything is, changing quickly nowadays. How have you guys integrated new technology into the service side of the business?
Well, we bought new scan tools. A big purchase that we made was aftermarket programming. So we have the capability to program most vehicles to a factory dealer level, which that was a huge expense, and kind of didn't know if it was going to pay off or not at the time. And
has it?
It has. We use it probably daily.
Okay.
Replacing modules, updating softwares, stuff like that, and that was a huge step in bringing our business to the next level. Oh, excellent.
And now, what are your thoughts on this recent trend moving towards hybrids and EVs? What does that mean for business? Like, are you guys seeing a lot of hybrids and EVs at your place?
Yeah, we see a lot of hybrids. The EVs are in our area. Definitely starting to see some.
Do you work on a whole bunch of those, or?
Not a whole bunch of EVs. We do tires on EVs, done some batteries, a lot of hybrids. We'll see a lot of the hybrids that are out of warranty.
Okay.
So, yeah, we take regular training on those, and we have the specialty tools, the high voltage tools that we use, and so, yeah, we do.
Yeah, that's a whole other part of training there too, is learning how to do all that. Do you think that's going to be, is that something that shops are just going to have to start embracing more and more of, or do you see like other technology coming down the pipeline in the future?
It's hard to say. I think the electric vehicle, the electric vehicles are definitely becoming more prominent, and I think they're going to continue to be, but I personally don't know. I think, I've seen heard talk about hydrogen engines, the electric, the hybrids. I think the hybrids is going to be big. We're going to see a lot more of that in trucks and stuff.
Okay. And overall, what does the future of the industry, like the repair industry, look like to you?
We're going to definitely move towards the electric, and I don't think you're ever going to get rid of internal combustion.
Okay.
completely. So I just don't think the technology is necessarily there yet. Could be wrong, but it's going to be hard to replace an internal combustion vehicle.
The future of the automotive industry depends on young technicians, but fostering their growth means standing up to mentor and support them. Logan Tate knows this firsthand, because even though he was raised in a family of automotive professionals, his parents encouraged him to work outside the family shop first to get a diversified set of experiences. Now, Logan's dedicated to guiding the next generation, ensuring they have the training, support, and opportunities they need to succeed. His passion for both the industry and its future are what make him a vehicle care rock star.